quick review. Okay, what I'm going to cover first is just a few things that he did, but just a review from the interview. Remember, we have the either or, the guaranteed or the incentive. I'm just going to cover a few things of that. Then we're going to jump right into how cool the incentive can get for you, which is on your page there. So if you guys remember, we had that two-part pay program, right? So we have the guaranteed side and we have the incentive side, right? Okay, what are you guaranteed for your appointment no matter what? For your qualified appointments, right? $19. Okay, what do you start out on the incentive side? 10%. And how far in sales does that go? $1,000. Right. Once you hit 1,000, you guys remember how far that goes? 4,000. Great. Okay. Okay, stop there for the example. Okay, do you get the guaranteed and the incentive, or do you get whichever is greater? Awesome. Okay. How often do we review the pay? Once a week. Great. When is your first week done? Well, it's actually Monday. So all the training appointments you guys even do this weekend, Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, that's like your first week. So even just this weekend, on Monday, you'll turn in paperwork. I'll show you how to do it on Saturday. And I'll give you guys a reminder today to bring in some information for direct deposit, either a form from the bank or a void check. On Monday, we can get you set up on that. And by next Friday, a week tomorrow, okay, on the weekend, they can direct deposit the amount into your bank for what you did even just this weekend, okay? So that's kind of cool. So your first week's kind of this weekend. Your second check you get is your first full week. Vector weeks always go Monday to Monday, okay? They're always Monday to Monday, but because you start in the middle of the week, you kind of get one right on your first weekend, okay? Now, like Mr. Bride talked about, right? We don't get paid to show our little sister. What are those minimum qualifications? They have to be, yeah, you're right, so at least 25, and he said one-on-one, right? We don't do any group parties, kind of thing like that, right? We do a one-on-one. So, what are the typical numbers we see? Guys, you remember from the interview we said that when someone does 10 appointments, typically how many sales will they have? 1,000. So you're talking volume. So I'm saying how many of those 10 will say yes? 1. You guys remember from the interview what percentage people typically buy?
60%.
Yeah, exactly. 60. Okay? What's the average sale? How much do they typically spend when they buy? 250, right? Yeah, exactly. So this is equal to 1,500. What that means, you guys, is that every 10 appointments, the average numbers will work out to be about 6 sales will result in about $1,500 in cut-go. Okay, that's the average results you'll be looking to get. So let's say this weekend, you do 10 training appointments, 6 sales, you get the average numbers. Let me show you what how it would look on your pay the first weekend, okay? So, 10 appointments, right? That's equal to 190, right? Okay, let's look at the incentive side for a second. Your first 1,000, you mean how much? 10%, right? 10% of 1,000 is 100, right? The next 500 you sold there, though, how much are you going to make on that? Right. So, $500 is really what we're looking at. So, 500 at 15% is 75. We add this up, we get 175, right? So, what do we get? We get whichever's greater, right? Which one's bigger? This one is, right? So, you're going to make 190. But we want to make sure, though, that the incentive pay, you get paid on it, though, so that it can count to your career sales. So you can accumulate up to the higher levels, right? So how your check will look is it'll show your orders. It says 175. We add an extra 15 because we had to, because we guaranteed you at least 190. So you made at least 190. Okay? Now, can you do more than 10 appointments in a week? Yes. But let's just use that as an example because the number is the same, okay? So let's say you did another 10 next week, okay? You had the same numbers, average numbers, okay, 1,500. With that happening, you guys, where do you start to get paid on the incentive pay? On week 2. 15, right? Because you're at 1,500 the first week, right? This weekend. So then, when we do this, guys, because you ended up at 1,500, right? The first one. We're still at 15%. So 1,500 plus another 1,500 will go to 3,000, right? So you're going to make 15% on that, all of that 1,500, right? That's equal to $225. So now when you compare 225 versus 190, what's bigger? Guys, this is almost the only time in the company that the incentive is lower than the guarantee. Like right when you're brand new. Because if it was typically lower, would there be much incentive? No. Okay? So that's like the only time, right? So now you can see how even just after one weekend, you're making more on the incentive than on the guaranteed side. But the coolest thing about it, right, no matter what, this doesn't go away, right? You You always get the 19 bucks. But let me show you how much more exciting the incentive is, okay? And that's what we're going to do right now. So on your piece of paper there, on page 35, you see how it says level, and then it says career sales, okay? What I'm going to get you to do for me is add a third column. And the third column is going to say average per, and then in brackets underneath, write incentive. Average per appointment, and underneath in brackets write incentive. So when you're brand new, we said that 10 appointments, right? 1,500 bucks, right? Because you can't get averages off 2 demos, so we're going to use 10 as an example. 1,500. And we said when you were brand new, you made part at 10%, part at 15. It ended up being $175 on the incentive pay. How did you make the 175? We did 10 appointments. So 175 divided by 10 is equal to $1,750 an appointment. So on the first column, where it says, or first row, beside 0 to 1,000, underneath your new column, I want you to write $1,750 per appointment there. Because that's what you averaged on the incentive pay. Now, we know you're going to make 19, but that's what you average on the incentive, okay? So you get past your first promotion. We get past that. You get a certificate, says you're now making 15%, not 10, which is nice because that happens pretty quick. We said that you made 225, right, when it was all at 15%. So 225 divided by 10, what's that equal to? 2250 an appointment. Okay, 2250 per appointment. So you just went, possibly this can happen, and I'll show you tomorrow how to make this happen your first weekend, you guys. Making $5 more per appointment, okay, because of the incentive pay. You guys remember some of your first jobs you had on how much the raise was you got, your first raise?
$1.
$1, that's pretty cool. That's like awesome.
I was young, it went from $7 to $8, so.
Okay, that's pretty amazing though. Usually you don't go $1 up. Usually it's like quarter, 10 cents, something like that. How long does it take usually to get the first raise?
3 months.
Yeah, or a certain number of hours or whatever, right? Exactly. You guys can get this weekend, okay? So, let me show you the next level. The next level we talked about on your page there is 20%, right? So when you're at 4,000 in career sales, right? 4,000, you're now making 20%. So, 1,500 at 20%, guys, what you're equal to there is making $300. So 300 divided by 10, $30 an appointment. Okay, so do we think people sell 4,000 in their Fast Start contest? Yeah, they do. Okay, lots of reps sell 4,000 in their Fast Start in the first 10 days. It's only equal to, you guys, about 400 bucks a day. That's about 2 average sales. So it's like 3 demos a day. Okay, so you can see why that happens a lot. Okay? So then we go to the next level. The next level, what's that? 25%. And how much is that in sales? 7,500? So once you guys are at 7,500, now you make 25%. So 1,500 at 25%, that's equal to 375. Divided by that by 10, and we've got $37.50 per appointment. Same demo that you did when you were new? Pretty much. Same time frame, probably shorter, right? Okay? And now instead of $17.50, you're making $37.50. So do people sell 7,500 in their Fast Start? Yeah? Okay, that's only 3 sales a day. It's about 5 demos a day. Okay, are they working harder? Yeah? But obviously there's a bigger reward for that, right? But when you get there, whenever that is, guys,